you don't see any evidence that Biden he fell off a bike, let's be honest, that he intellectually is on top of any of this, let alone able to articulate what is the answer. I mean, retail spending last month was down on the previous month, but there are some on the side of the government saying, well, people are running out of money. Wages growth is less than inflation. So if that's the case, the buyer, the consumer, the battler is running out of money, isn't he?
Right. And remember, we were told that Joe Biden was going to be the most experienced, the most unifying, the best president that we've ever had, and that the team he would bring around him to the White House would be able to solve all the ills of the Trump presidency. We are seeing the exact opposite. And not only do I worry about Joe Biden's capacity to make decisions, look at the people that he has surrounded himself with. Not one of them gives me confidence or the American people.
And I mean, just wrapping this up, I mean, it gets worse for the Democrats, doesn't it, heading towards November? It's not far away, and the midterm elections. So what do you make of all of that? Before I ask you a question about this Myra Flores.
Well, people vote with their pocketbook. They vote about kitchen table issues, and people around the kitchen tables all over America are very worried about the direction of America. So if their wallet is causing them to vote, they are not going to be voting Democrat.
No, they'll smash them. Well, a metaphor of this, Peggy, surely is this Myra Flores, who's a Republican, can you believe it, in the deep blue south of Texas. She's won a special election for Texas's 34th congressional district, which had been held by the Democrats since 1870. Now, that region's been devastated by Biden's border crisis, which has turned off many Hispanic voters. But surely this is a metaphor of the political direction that the voter is taking in America.
Well, I don't think any Democrat seat is going to be safe after that rocking win, a seat that hadn't gone red in over 150 years. And, you know, the polling is showing that only 24% of Hispanics are supporting Joe Biden, and only 30% nationwide. Hispanics, for the most part, are in favor of legal immigration, but not in favor of illegal immigration. And unfortunately, the border communities that are predominantly Hispanic, they're the ones that are suffering most with this open border. The crime, the lack of services, people who are unvetted coming across the border. And so they're suffering the consequences of it, and they sent a shockwave to Washington by electing Mary.
Kamala Harris was supposed to solve all that. She didn't even go down there. I mean, one correspondent said, I'll note the language, there is a political earthquake happening in Latino politics in South Texas. I mean, it seems, though, doesn't it, Peggy, the Democrats are in trouble everywhere, and this is just a metaphor of the problem. Can I just come to Hillary Clinton, just on the Democrats? She says she won't run for president in 2024. Is she to be believed?
Well, we know that Hillary Clinton is always waiting on the wings for her to be called onto the stage and take the spotlight. So I wouldn't believe that. I think she's waiting to be begged, and we'll see if that happens. It's sad when you think that Hillary Clinton might be the Democrats' best option, but Joe Biden certainly is not going to run, but he can't say that now. He'd be a lame duck. And the Democrats are just trying to find a way to scuttle Kamala Harris and haven't figured that out yet.
Yes, I mean, she said that, which is a joke, isn't it? Hillary Clinton expects Biden to run for re-election. Now, we know anything can happen in politics, and Kamala Harris is out of it. Just for our viewers, Buttigieg, is he a legitimate candidate?
No, he's not. If he is the savior of the Democratic Party, they've got troubles, because if you look at our supply chain issues and all of our transportation, especially airline disruptions that we've had, all of those fall right on the plate of the Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. And he's playing the blame game as well. He's deflecting blame every place else. Real leaders rise up and solve problems. We're not seeing that out of Pete Buttigieg. So I don't think he's going to be a good option for the Democrats if they're looking for someone to solve the problems they're creating.